Have you ever caught yourself whispering the words, "I'm too old for that"? It slips out quietly, almost without us noticing. Maybe you said it when your grandchildren showed you a new phone app, or when someone invited you to join an activity you'd never tried before. Those four little words, "I'm too old for that," may sound harmless, but they carry a weight heavier than the years themselves. Because here's the truth. The moment we say them, we close a door. We tell ourselves a story that life is already past, that opportunities no longer belong to us. But is that really true? After 70, every year becomes more precious, more valuable. Each day is not just time, it's possibility. Life doesn't end at 60 or 70 or even 90. It shifts, it changes, and it offers new gifts if we're willing to open our hands and receive them. Today, let's walk together through 5 powerful reminders of what is still possible. If you stop saying, "I'm too old," point 1, staying curious keeps you young. Curiosity isn't just for children. It's a spark that keeps the mind alive, like a little lantern inside of us. When we stay curious, we keep the brain active, flexible, and awake. Think about it. Curiosity is what makes life interesting. It's what makes you want to try a new recipe, read a book outside your usual comfort zone, explore a hobby, or even learn how to use a smartphone app your grandkids can't stop talking about. Curiosity is a gentle medicine. It fights boredom. It strengthens memory. It reminds you that growth never has an age limit. I once met Tom, a 74-year-old who signed up for an online painting class. At first, he felt clumsy, fumbling with brushes he hadn't touched since childhood. But week after week, something changed. His curiosity bloomed into confidence. Today, he has a wall full of paintings. Not because he set out to be great, but because he was willing to stay curious. Tom often tells me, "I didn't know I could still surprise myself, but curiosity gave me that gift." And isn't that the truth? Life still has surprises for us, if we stay curious enough to discover them. Point 2, your body can still grow stronger. It's easy to believe strength belongs to the young. We see athletes on TV and think, that ship has sailed. But science and lived experience show something different. Even in your 70s or 80s, your body can build muscle, improve balance, and increase energy with gentle, consistent movement. Nancy, a widow in her early 70s, is one of my favorite examples. For years, she struggled with balance, so badly she feared falling in her own kitchen. The fear made her shrink her world smaller, avoiding outings, staying home more often, and feeling weaker with each passing month. But one day, she decided to try. She started simple, walking down her driveway each morning. A few weeks later, she could walk around her block without gasping for air. Months later, she was strong enough to join a local Tai Chi class. She told me, with tears in her eyes, "I thought I was too old to get stronger. Turns out, I was just too afraid to try." And isn't that the truth? Age changes our bodies. Yes, but it doesn't erase their ability to adapt, to grow stronger, to surprise us. Even small movements, stretching, gardening, walking, send a powerful message. My body is still capable and I am still here. Point 3. Creativity has no age limit. There's a quiet, almost sacred joy in creating something with your hands, your words, or your imagination. Creativity nourishes the soul, no matter how many candles are on your birthday cake. It doesn't matter if it's gardening, sewing, baking, storytelling, or writing down your memories for your grandchildren. Creativity is less about the outcome and more about the act of expression itself. History is filled with people who discovered or deepened their creativity later in life. Some of the world's greatest painters, musicians, and writers produced their best work in their 70s, 80s, even 90s. Tom, the painter I mentioned earlier, once said something that stuck with me. "I don't paint to be remembered. I paint to remember who I am." What could you create today, simply for the joy of it? Creativity is a way of saying to the world and to yourself, "I'm still alive and I still have something to share." Point 4. Relationships and connection matter most. Loneliness can feel heavier than age itself. And yet, relationships are one of the most powerful medicines we have for both body and soul. Studies show that staying socially connected can add years to your life. But more importantly, it adds life to your years. Nancy, the same woman who grew stronger through walking, also found new strength through connection. She joined a small book club at her local library. At first, she thought it would just be about novels. But soon, it became her lifeline. Laughter over tea, deep conversations about family, and a safe space to share both grief and joy. That circle of connection gave her something priceless. Belonging. It's never too late to make a new friend. It's never too old-fashioned to call an old one. Sometimes, all it takes is reaching out, sending that message, making that phone call, saying yes to that invitation. Because at the end of the day, it's people who keep us alive inside. Point 5. Your sense of purpose is timeless. Purpose doesn't retire when you do. In fact, it might even grow stronger with age. Purpose gives meaning to our mornings, direction to our days, and peace to our nights. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to make headlines. It can be as simple as tending to your plants, mentoring a younger person, volunteering in your community, or simply showing up for your family. A neighbor of mine, Mr. Lewis, is in his 80s. Every morning, he tends to a community garden. When I asked him why, he smiled and said, "I just like knowing something I plant today will feed someone tomorrow." That right there is purpose in its purest form. When you wake up with something or someone to care about, age becomes a number, not a barrier. So, what's still possible for you? The answer is simple, more than you may think. Curiosity, strength, creativity, connection, purpose. These 5 gifts don't fade with age, they deepen. The truth is, every morning you wake up is a fresh invitation, not to repeat yesterday, but to discover something new, to grow in a new way, to love more deeply than before. So next time those words rise up, "I'm too old for that," pause, breathe, and remind yourself, you are never too old for what's still possible. I'd love to hear from you. What have you discovered you can still do, even when you once thought you were too old? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read each one. And if this message touched you, please like this video, subscribe for more gentle encouragement, and share it with a friend who might need the reminder. Age is not the end of possibility. It is the doorway to new kinds of life.